And y'all know what, you ever fly June bug? Anybody here ever fly June bug? You did? Yeah, they come in the summer. I forget, that's maybe in August, I guess they come. And you catch them and you tie a string to their back leg and then they just walk around and fly. Fly the June bug, man, and my dad taught me that. My dad taught me so many things, too. That was unbelievable that was what they done. I mean, if we went in the woods whenever the red berries got on the dogwood trees, when we would go in the woods and he would carve me out he'd get a hackberry bush and cut a little, about that long piece of hackberry bush and hollow it out, and then get an oak limb and make a plunger out of it and make me a pop gun. And that was the thing, man. When you got the red berries on the dogwood tree, man, you get a pop gun. That was fun. And you shoot your brother and sister a lot. Funny. I'm sorry that all that stuff has left our, humanity's just forgotten all about it. And that's all right. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry because my father was a Craftsman Deluxe. His name was Alfonso. And he wasn't, he was an American of Scottish descent, but his name was Alfonso because my great-great-grandmother was from Spain. And Alfonso happened to be the king of Spain during that period of time, so Alfonso got passed down through history to my dad. So he was Alfonso. And they called him Fonzo, they called him Boot, but he was a great guy. Anyway, I don't know why I got sidetracked on all that. I don't bore you with it. Anyway, Dora, my grandma, went through a lot of stuff. My uncle, Eugene, they had 7 kids. And Eugene was the youngest boy. And the way they took care of paying, it was sharecroppers. And the way they took care of paying the boys was when you turned 18, you started to get the money from one bale of cotton. And my Uncle Blue, Eugene, I called him Blue. My Uncle Blue had just turned 18 and he wanted to have a date with this girl for 5 or 6 years. I mean, he loved this little old girl. Now finally he was turning 18. He borrowed his brother John's car, got him a suit and everything, and got him in all nattied up, and he was waiting for Judson, that was my grandpa, to come home with the money from the bale of cotton so he could go pick up his girlfriend. They didn't have a phone, no way to call her or anything. And so Blue sat down in a chair at the front door and waited. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. He started to get worried. Then the old man came home drunk. And Blue said, "Daddy, why'd you do this to me? Why did you do this to me?" And he stood up and he was crying, and his dad hauled off and just hit him as hard as he could and knocked him to the floor. And when he did that, Blue got up and he ran out of the house and he went next door, and while the old man was sleeping in the rocking chair, he shot him in the back of the head. Now, Uncle Blue was my favorite uncle. And because he shot my granddaddy, it didn't mean anything to me, hardly. I mean, it meant he shouldn't have done it. But I didn't think anymore. I felt sorry for my Uncle Blue. Because I know what he had to have gone through. And he went to prison, and when he went to prison, he was there 8 years. In the prison, I wrote him a letter. And I said, "Dear Uncle Blue, I forgive you for I know what you did, and I forgive you, and I know God forgives you." I sent him that letter. He never said anything about it. And then my Uncle Blue died, and I went to where he lived with my Aunt Betty. He and my Aunt Betty lived in Dyersburg, Tennessee, actually. And so I went up there, and my Aunt Betty, she said, let me show you something. She takes me back to the bedroom. And I said, "This is where y'all slept?" No, she said, "This is where I slept." I said, "Where did Uncle Blue sleep?" She went over to the closet and opened the door, and there was a prison cot in there. And one of those metal cabinets sitting beside it. She turned the light on in there, and it was just a closet. So when she turned that on, I said, "So this is where Uncle Blue slept?" She said, "Yeah, this is where Uncle Blue slept." She said, "But that's not all. Let me show you something else." And when I was 3 years old, I wanted a pocket knife my Uncle Blue had, and it was just a cheap old little pocket knife, just probably at that time cost 10 cents. But I wanted that pocket knife so bad, and Uncle Blue didn't know he was going to die. She opened that door, and sitting there on top in that drawer was the letter that I sent my Uncle Blue in prison with that pocket knife sitting on top. Sometimes you don't know. But you got to keep your love alive no matter what. Am I right? Right. And my Uncle Blue's gone now, and I still love him. And I loved my grandpa too, but you know, he was a mean old guy. He was. He didn't know much better. And I'm not making him guilty or solving my uncle. Neither one was right. Anyway, this is a song I wrote for Dora. Dora, hadn't been for you, wouldn't be any me. Dora, you hadn't cried, I wouldn't have such smiling eyes to see. I know you worked all day in the cotton fields back home. The Delta tomboy always did her part. They even called you Toby, old ragamuffin girl. But you'll always be sweet Dora in my heart. Dora, hadn't been for you, wouldn't be any me. Dora, you hadn't cried, I wouldn't have such smiling eyes to see. Now you think that you're too old and just a burden. Let me be the first to say I disagree. You bore and raised 6 kids and you worked hard to keep them fed. That didn't sound too much like a burden to me. Dora, hadn't it been for you, wouldn't be any me. Dora, you hadn't cried, I wouldn't have such smiling eyes.